Ambassador Zethkar clicked his mandibles in amusement as he scrolled through the human military archives on his translator pad. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with similar sounds of derision from the assembled delegates as they reviewed humanity's request for membership. "Look at this," Zethkar announced, his voice carrying the characteristic whistle of his species. "They call it the 100 Years' War, 100 rotations of their planet for a single conflict. And here, the 30 Years' War. How delightfully primitive." The Vorthan representative, her crystalline form shimmering with condescension, chimed in harmony. "My favorite is this World War II. They managed to drag their entire planet into chaos for 6 rotations. Such inefficiency." High Counselor Threshmon, his scaled hide rippling with what passed for laughter among his kind, gestured toward the human delegation. "Tell me, Ambassador Chen, how do you expect us to take seriously a species that takes decades to resolve simple territorial disputes? The great Kethmaran Empire has conquered 17 star systems in the time it took you to fight one war." Ambassador Chen remained perfectly still, her hands folded calmly in her lap. The slight smile on her lips might have been mistaken for embarrassment by those unfamiliar with human expressions. "With respect, High Counselor, I believe you may have misunderstood the nature of those conflicts." "Enlighten us," Threshmon said, settling back into his biothrone with smug satisfaction. Chen stood slowly, activating her own display. The 100 Years' War wasn't a single continuous battle, but a complex series of dynastic disputes involving multiple nations, each employing increasingly sophisticated military innovations. The 30 Years' War reshaped the entire concept of sovereignty and international law. And World War II? She paused, her smile growing slightly colder. World War II demonstrated what happens when humanity decides a conflict must end quickly. Zethkar's mandibles chattered dismissively. 6 rotations is quick? Our own war fleets conquered the Zilani Confederacy in mere cycles. The Zilani Confederacy controlled 3 systems, Chen replied evenly. World War II involved every inhabited continent on Earth, 61 nations, and resulted in the deployment of weapons capable of splitting atoms. It ended when we became the first species in galactic history to harness the fundamental forces of matter itself for warfare. The chamber fell noticeably quieter, but Threshmon's contempt remained unshaken. Impressive for primitives, perhaps. But you speak of ancient history. The mighty Kethmaran fleet numbers 10,000 vessels. Our shield technology is impenetrable. Our weapons can crack moons. What could your small backward species possibly? The lights in the council chamber flickered and died. Emergency illumination cast eerie shadows as automated systems announced, "Council station is under attack. All delegates to emergency stations. Repeat, Council station is under attack." Through the massive viewport, the assembled aliens watched. In horror as the Kethmaran home fleet, all 10,000 ships erupted in silent flowers of flame against the starfield. The mighty dreadnoughts that had terrorized a dozen species simply ceased to exist. "Impossible," Threshmon whispered, his scaled hide now pale with shock. "Our shields, our defenses." Chen remained seated, consulting her personal communicator, with the casual air of someone checking the time. "Admiral Morrison reports the Kethmaran fleet has been neutralized. Total engagement time, 14 minutes, 37 seconds. No human casualties." The chamber erupted in panicked, chittering, harmonic wails and guttural roars as delegates demanded answers. Chen waited patiently for the chaos to subside before speaking again. "You see, counselors, you made a fundamental error in your assessment of human military history. You assumed our long wars indicated incompetence. In reality, they demonstrated restraint." She gestured toward the viewport where debris from 10,000 warships still glowed like dying stars. "When we chose to end World War II quickly, we did so in a matter of days. When we choose to end a conflict immediately..." She let the sentence hang in the air like the cooling metal fragments outside. Zethkar's voice was barely a whisper. "How? Our intelligence indicated you had no fleet in this sector. No weapons capable of..." "Oh, we didn't use weapons," Chen said pleasantly. We used physics. You see, during our primitive wars, we learned something valuable. The most devastating conflicts are won not by superior firepower, but by superior understanding. Your shields were indeed impenetrable to conventional weapons. Unfortunately for you, we stopped using conventional weapons sometime around 1945. She stood and straightened her jacket with military precision. We've spent the last 3 centuries perfecting the art of ending conflicts quickly and definitively. We simply chose not to demonstrate this capability until now. You mocked our long wars without understanding their true purpose. They taught us patience, strategy, and most importantly, the devastating effectiveness of total commitment to victory. The High Counselor's voice cracked. What do you want? Chen's smile was now unmistakably predatory. What we've always wanted, Counselor. Membership in the Galactic Council. A voice in interstellar affairs. The opportunity to share our knowledge of conflict resolution with species who might benefit from our perspective. As if summoned by her words, sleek human vessels began materializing around the station, not arriving, but simply becoming visible as their stealth systems disengaged. Hundreds of ships that had been there all along, watching, waiting. You see, Chen continued, addressing the stunned assembly, we've been studying galactic civilization for quite some time. We've observed your methods, your technologies, your military doctrines. We've learned from them, adapted them, and, as is human nature, improved upon them. The Keth-Moran Empire fell in one campaign, because that's all the time we chose to give it. The silence in the chamber was absolute. Now then, Ambassador Chen said, settling back into her chair with satisfaction. Shall we discuss the terms of Earth's membership in the Galactic Council? I believe you'll find our contributions to galactic peace and stability quite persuasive. Outside the viewport, the last fragments of the once mighty Keth-Moran fleet faded into the cosmic dark, and a new chapter in galactic history began, one where humanity's true nature was finally understood by those who had mistaken their restraint for weakness. The vote for Earth's immediate admission to the Council was unanimous.